everybody. Welcome back. We are Into the Black, the final episode of season 1, episode 20. It has been a ride, and I just want to say thank you to everybody who has been listening over the past 5 months. Kind of crazy. The first episode was actually dropped on March 31st. So today I am recording on August 31st. So it's been exactly 5 months that I've been doing this podcast for the podcasting world, meaning having horizontal video over on YouTube and having this podcast actually across Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, RSS.com. So I just want to say thank you. I have listeners in Hawaii, in England, in Newark, Delaware, of course. So again, I just want to say thank you everybody so much for supporting me over the last 5 months and listening to all of the awesome episodes. I think it's awesome because it's hard to put a podcast together, I think, anyway. I do have 2 podcasts now. The first one is this one, Into the Black. And this actually started when I decided I did not want to do short form video anymore in the way that I was doing it. And if you go back to my TikToks over at Heather Cox Codes over on TikTok, you'll see that I used to do a lot of funny skits, lots of pointing videos, and that just didn't really feel like me anymore. In addition, it is really difficult to be happy all the time. And a lot of those videos and a lot of the content that you make in regards to giving tips and tricks, and you need to be bubbly and have a personality, and like I have that, and like, but it's just, it could lead to burnout, and I was definitely burnt out. So that's why I was like, you know what, I think I'm gonna slow down. I'm gonna slow down my content and just enjoy, just stop and smell the roses a little bit and really get a little deeper into some of these conversations instead of those 30-second sound bites that we are seeing across the internet. So that's why I really started, Into the Black, because I wanted a place to really just kind of brain dump my thoughts, and also, it kind of progressed, right? So the first installment, the micro podcast, as I called it, was just me in my basement, right? And, well, not my basement. I'm in my basement now, but it was just me up in my office, just myself. And I would talk about specific things, but like the episodes weren't so long. I think the longest one was maybe like 5 minutes. Not even. And I would record long like this, but it would be vertical recording. And then I would then chop it up and create like a micro podcast series over on my TikTok and Instagram Reels and Facebook Reels. And, that was going well as well. And I painted my wall this color up in my upstairs office, my old one. And then I just felt so cramped in that space that I feel like I could not even function and be creative anymore, because my creativity was like bursting at the seams. Like, you guys, I know if you go back, you'll see like when I moved from my upstairs office to my basement office, and you'll see like the before and after. I do like a, clicking video where you snap your fingers and then like it brings you to the new one. But I was bursting at the seams up there. And then also my stepdaughter wanted her own room. So I was like, okay, well, we gotta get some more space. And then construction started, and we redid the whole entire basement. So now I have a very large office on one side of the basement, and then my husband has his office on the other side of the basement with a small entertainment corner. And now the upstairs is now my stepdaughter's bedroom, which she totally loves. It's super cute. She has these really cute like ombre pillows, teal white ombre pillows that are like fuzzy. Like they would be like a really cute monster, like a fuzzy monster. Think Monsters Inc. But yeah, shout out Esther. So yeah, but now I'm in this space and I felt like I was able to be creative again. So I took everybody through the creative process of creating this space. I believe there's a video somewhere scroll through, find it. And yeah, so now since I had this additional space, because there was no way that I was going to bring guests into that upstairs office. Absolutely freaking not. They would have been like, what the hell is this? They would have been like, what is happening? This place is so small, like cramped. And like, I get it. Like, we all got to start somewhere, right? So now I'm in this space and I have a bigger space that I'm able to work with. And now I'm able to have guests. And so I have just had so many awesome freaking guests the first season. And I just want to shout out every single one of you who came on the podcast this season, season 1 of Into the Black. All of you I specifically chose for a reason, because I just look up to all of you, and I get something from all of you. Information, education, you uplift me, you motivate me. I see you all and I'm just in awe of all of you. And I all believe that you all have something special and unique that you bring to the table, especially here in the state of Delaware. So I just want to say thank you for, coming on to the podcast. And I couldn't have done it without you. Seriously. Thank you everybody for, scheduling things and unscheduling things and rescheduling things and just being super supportive and always just super dope. And I look forward to seeing you all very soon. I know I'm going to be seeing Jane next week. I'm going to be seeing Alicia next week. I'm going to be seeing Nancy in October. So there's just a lot going on. Very exciting. So I wanted to shout out Representative Republican Mike Smith. First episode, we had to have an official on the official launch, of course. Jane Clark of Brand Swan, my amazing co-host of Dark Mode. We actually have our Dark Mode podcast every Thursday, except when we don't. Sometimes we're sick. Sometimes we overbook. Sometimes we're on vacation. But Jane Clark of Brand Swan, thank you so much for being a guest on the podcast. You are like turning into one of my really close friends. So I just super appreciate you and keep kicking ass. Miss Delaware USA 2023, Miss Noah Mills. I just adore you so much. And I'm super excited to see what you do moving forward. Alicia Cooper of Cooper Home Loans. See you next week for lunch. And I love your drive. And I really want to step into that because you're so powerful. Like, I look at you and you are just so, like, you command a room, and I just really look up to that. And you are just moral compass pointing north, right? Claudia Engelhardt of Mindful Living Media. Girl, again, with that, moral compass pointing north, I really appreciate everything you said and did for the Miss USA organization as the social media director over there for while you were there. And I do appreciate you standing with the girls when that went down. And dude, keep crushing it in the pageant industry and circuits, because I see what you're doing and you are just a beautiful soul inside and out. Nancy Dybert of Epic Marketing. Of course, Nancy, I love you. You know that I look up to you so much. I have seen you as like a mentor and somebody to look up to for over a decade, maybe even 2 decades at this point. And I'm just super excited for everything that you're doing and the social media day coming in October. You'll see me there. So please, everybody, buy your tickets to go to the social media day on October 30th in Newark, Delaware. I will be there having a booth, and I might even do a live episode of Dark Mode at that booth. So stay tuned. Lauren Simmons of Fearless Fashionista. I'm a fashion girly, and I love that you give women the confidence to wear whatever the hell they want. And I'm really leaning into that now. And especially since you came onto the podcast, like, and if you guys go listen, I asked the question of like, how do you feel like I don't know, confident enough to just like pile the things on and to wear all the things and the, you know, the bangles and the jewelry and the glasses. Cause I love my glasses. I love my jewelry, but sometimes I feel like I just can't get away with it. So Lauren, thank you so much for showing me that like I can wear whatever the hell I want and I should. And using clothing to boost your confidence is just such a win-win. So thank you so, so much. Melissa, my sister, actual sister, Melissa Cox, singer-songwriter. She came on the podcast. That was really interesting. And that was a really fun episode because I feel like I was able to ask questions that like I've always kind of wanted to ask, but also just do something cool with her. And I do see the similarities in us more now that I have sat down next to her and interviewed her. It's kind of like interviewing a mirror a little bit. And I'm excited to interview my mom. I'm going to have my mom on the next season 2, because that's going to be, you guys are going to be like, you guys are like looking in the mirror. Anyway, thanks Melissa for coming out, and we'll see you hopefully next summer here in the United States. Hopefully you go on tour again. Bob Warburton of USA House Solutions. Bob was like my first client ever, essentially. And I just love how much you help the community here in the state of Delaware for those who are having some financial issues in regards to their homes. Plus, I mean, you're just an awesome individual. You were such an amazing boss, and you helped me move forward and kind of like figure out what I really wanted to do. And you know, I am just so thankful that we crossed paths through Craigslist. Back in the day when you would post job listings on Craigslist. They still do. I think they still do. I might have checked that out. And then, of course, our final guest, the man, the myth, the legend, Robbie Jester of Ingest Events, of Pressure Cooker on Netflix, of Beat Bobby Flay, of Guys Grocery Games, of Chopped Italiano, of Pizza Mariana down the street. You know, Robbie is such a just down-to-earth, chill individual, but also is really looking out for the Delaware restaurant industry. I will say that. And he is always there to just kind of bring everybody together and kind of move the industry forward. And he's just such a genuine down-to-earth dude. And I really appreciate it that he came on. He didn't have to. He rescheduled like 3 fucking times, bro. Like, he didn't have to do that. So major props to you, and thank you everybody who was on. I really do appreciate it, because I want to highlight people that I genuinely respect and who are genuine down-to-earth individuals who are, you know, not here just for shits and giggles, but to really make an impact in the state of Delaware and beyond, right? So on top of all of the guests that we have had on Into the Black, I've also really went into the nitty gritty of specific topics that I really am. I'm not going to say a subject matter expert on. Yes, I have reached 15 years in business in January 2025. But I will say that I just really, really like talking about those topics and really educating the public on those topics as well. So, you know, we talked about search engine optimization. We talked about artificial intelligence. We talked about social media marketing. We talked about digital marketing. We talked about search engine optimization and artificial intelligence, coupling them together. We've talked about my early education journey. We've also talked about my TEDx journey. We have talked about so many things on this podcast, and I really just am here to educate everybody on specific topics that I find that there are a lot of misconceptions on, but also like that I actually know what I'm talking about. I really like to stay in my lane. You're not going to hear about politics on this podcast. You're not going to hear about healthcare on this podcast. You might hear about my health journey. You may hear about some of my my moral compass and what I believe in, but you're not going to hear. I don't talk religion much. I don't talk politics much. I don't talk health, much because I leave all of those things to the experts. I'm not a subject matter expert on any of those things. Yes, the first episode I had Representative Mike Smith on, and yes, he's my representative. Well, my parents' representative, I think. But I also know him like professionally. So, and he's also like here to make a difference in the state of Delaware. And to be honest, I'm here to highlight those in Delaware, those in the surrounding areas of Delaware. And maybe, shit, if y'all want to fly out, that's fine. But I'm really here to highlight those that I just really think are going to make a difference and are making a difference in people's lives. And that's the goal, is to make life better, to make society better. And that's why I really, next season, I really wanted to do an episode about the book that I wrote about child online safety, but we're going to save that for next season. I might do an episode maybe on dark mode about it. But, the things that we do, we need to make society better. And better for everybody, inclusivity, including everybody, and keeping everybody safe and happy and healthy. And that's what I think that's what this podcast boils down to, is like, I want to hear people's opinions, but I also want to educate and give back as much as possible through the expertise that I have. I had an episode about entrepreneurship. I am a second generation entrepreneur. My mom's an entrepreneur. My two sisters are also business owners. My dad just started a band called the Bluesters. Shout out. I like to stay in my lane, and the things I know are the things I know, and that's why I'm here. But I also, I just, this podcast is really important to me and special to me. And I guess I'm just super appreciative of everybody for just being here, for appreciating, for supporting me. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who has listened and grown from what I have said and what my guests have said. It's really important to me for people to understand that you are unique, you are special, you have talents and gifts, and you should share them with the world. And that's why I talk about social media and marketing and entrepreneurship, and I have people on from different backgrounds and lifestyles and industries, because I want everybody to see that they too can do the things that they want to do and that they are passionate about. I don't have to do this podcast. Nobody asked for this podcast. Y'all didn't ask for this shit. I just did it. And you can too. You can just do it. Just Nike. You have that ability. If you put your mind to it, if you think about it, if you really buckle down, if you just like put one foot in front of the other, just micro actions will get you there, will get you to the goal. And I know everybody out there can do it. And that's what the purpose of this podcast is that you go into the black, you go into the space between those ones and zeros, you go grain in depth, like get in there and think about what you can do and then share it with the world and broadcast it out. Everybody has that ability. Everybody is creative. There's no master's degree in creativity. There's no gatekeeping creativity. There are the tasks that help you be creative. There are the tools that help you be creative. But you in itself, you are a creative individual and you can do whatever you put your mind to. All of my guests who have been on this show have put their minds to it and they have succeeded in one way or another. And success isn't always monetary. Money. It's not always that. Your success looks different to everybody. My success is that I'm able to be creative, have a podcast, and make my own rules in my life and not have to work for the man. I don't have a boss. I have clientele and collaborations. I don't have a boss. And that's why I am able to do what I do. And that in itself to me is success. What is your success? You will never know until you have to start. You will never know unless you start. So you have the power to be creative. You have it in you. And I just am so thankful for everybody who came onto this podcast to show everybody that you can do what you want to do if you put your mind to it. And thank you everybody so much for listening, for supporting me over the past 5 months. It wasn't always easy. Some days I did not want to be here. I will be honest. Not the days with my guests though, because I loved having my guests. But the ones where it's just me, it's hard to get motivated. You have to be your own cheerleader. And that's one more thing. Be your own cheerleader. Do your own thing. You know what it takes. You can do it. Be your own cheerleader. Nobody else is going to cheer you on for the rest of your life. People come in and out of your life. People come and go. People love you. People hate you. You need to be your own cheerleader because there's nobody that's going to stick around, because the only thing that is constant is change. So everybody, thank you so much for being here. Look forward to season 2 of Into the Black coming in January. Okay, I might say February. I'm going to say February of 2025 because my busy season is from September all the way until January 25th. So I will not be on Into the Black. The next season and episode will start in February of 2025. But you can catch me every Thursday on Dark Mode, which is at 11 a.m. EST on LinkedIn Live with my co-host, Jane Clark. And again, everybody, thank you so, so much for just supporting me and listening and watching. And I will see you all next time.